I will note only that Professor Hawking's pioneering mind is one of the greatest of our era, and that he has combined profound insights into the nature of the universe with an admirable commitment to making those insights available to the general public. It is a privilege as well as an honor to have him on our campus. It's now my pleasure to introduce Ambassador Russell, who serves both as Associate Director of the OSTP and as Deputy Director for Technology. Mr. Russell was nominated by the President and confirmed by the Senate in August 2002. He served as President Bush's ambassador to the 2007 World Radio Communication Conference. He first joined OSTP as Chief of Staff in 2001, following a decade of service on Capitol Hill, where he worked on science and technology issues in both houses of Congress. Ambassador Russell.
Thank you, Dr. Knapp. It is truly an honor and a pleasure to introduce the speakers for the third in the series of NASA lectures that celebrates NASA's 50th anniversary year. These lectures are a unique opportunity for prominent leaders to address matters of global interest in the areas of space, exploration, scientific discovery, aeronautics, research, to audiences of key policymakers, corporate leaders, academics, and the public sector. I would also like to acknowledge Shanna Dale, the Deputy Administrator of NASA, for establishing this series, and it really is going to be a treat this afternoon to listen to Professor Hawking and Lucy Hawking. Today, we have a unique father-daughter pair with us. Not much needs to be said about Professor Stephen Hawking, who is one of the world's foremost cosmologists and astrophysicists. Since 1979, he has been the Lucian Professor of Mathematics at Cambridge University, a seat once held by Sir Isaac Newton. I'm actually a stand-in for the President's Science Advisor, Dr. John Marburger, who unfortunately has the flu today, but he wanted me to recount a story to you about how important Professor Hawking's work is in terms of being able to translate science into something that's understandable for the public. Dr. Marburger used to be the head of the Brookhaven National Laboratory, and while he was there, they attempted to start up the Relativistic Heavy Ion Collider, also known as RHIC. That caused a lawsuit. There was a claim that if RHIC was turned on, we would create a black hole, and it would eat the world. Now, that may sound funny, but unfortunately, the public actually believed that a black hole might be created, and Professor and at that point Director of the National Laboratory, Marburger, turned to Professor Hawking and asked for advice and asked for him to give advice to the press. And it is because of his advice that we should not worry about being consumed by a black hole if the collider was turned on, that it allowed Brookhaven to move forward with the collider. So Dr. Marburger wanted to both express his sadness at not being here today, but also his pleasure and thanks for the wonderful work that Professor Hawkins has done, not only in terms of an understanding of physics, but also in terms of being able to relate to the general public directly and move science forward. Professor Hawking's lecture, which is titled Why We Should Go into Space, was written especially for this event, and he considers it a 50th birthday present for NASA, and quite a birthday present I'm sure it will be. His daughter Lucy is a journalist and author. Lucy and her father have co-authored a book for children called George's Secret Key to the Universe, which was published in October, and there's a second book on the way. Professor Hawking will initially speak for a few minutes, followed by Lucy, and then Professor Hawking will complete his lecture. And with that, I would like to introduce and welcome Professor Hawking and Lucy. Thank you all so much.
Why should we go into space? What is the justification for spending all that effort and money on getting a few lumps of moon rock? Aren't there better causes here on Earth?